So what if the doctors have said initially, early on, that there may have been some issues with your placenta, and because of this, this is why your baby may have suffered an HIE injury at birth. Today, I want to quickly talk with you about how do you find out the official information about your placenta, where do you go to find that information, and how do you go about doing this? So first of all, when there are potential issues with the placenta, there is going to be a placental pathology that's going to be done. And that placental pathology is going to be done by a medical expert or medical doctor called a placental pathologist. And what this doctor is it's a doctor that has expertise in looking at placentas and being able to analyze what do they see on the placenta. When they are looking at the placenta, what specifically do they see? They will do a detailed report about not only their findings, their impressions, and the conclusions as to what they see based on their analysis of the placenta. So a placental pathology is very important and crucial when we are looking to figure out what may have been the cause of your baby's traumatic brain injury. Because remember, if there are issues with the placenta, then that can, in some instances, cause your baby to suffer a traumatic brain injury. So that is why it's important that you know what is in that placental pathology, what is in that report, what did the medical experts see when they looked at your placental pathology. As a birth injury attorney, when I'm looking to do an investigation and help families understand, was it medical malpractice that caused their baby's traumatic brain injury, or was it genetics or developmental? I want to see the placental pathology. If one was done, I want to make sure that I have an opportunity to look at that placental pathology and analyze what was seen by that doctor when they looked at everything. All right, now, how do you go about getting this information? If you're not going to contact an attorney like myself, how do you go about doing it? Well, what you need to do is you need to make a request to the hospital for the medical records that were surrounding your labor and delivery. So you want to make sure that not only do you get mom's records, your records, you want to make sure that you get baby's records, and you want to make sure that you get the readings from the electronic fetal heart monitor. While you're doing this process, you just want to make sure that you get all three, because you never know in the future what you may need these records for. But going back to mom's records, when you go through mom's records, the placental pathology, it might be embedded in mom's records. It may be embedded in your records. If you go through and you do not see that placental pathology there, and you know that one was done, the doctors have told you that they had an opportunity to look at your placental pathology, what you may have to do is reach back out to the hospital and make a request specifically to the placental pathology department and see if you can get the record there, okay? So again, you can go through, make sure you look at your record. If it's not embedded there in your record, in mom's record, then go ahead and make a request or reach out to the placental pathology department and see if they have that record on file there. If you have more questions, I'm talking to you today about this because you may be watching this video and your baby has a traumatic brain injury, has an HIE brain injury, and you got questions as to, well, how did this happen? Was this something that happened because of medical malpractice or negligence, or was it genetic, was it developmental? If you have that type of thing going on and you have questions, there's a telephone number below. What I invite you to do, get your cell and give me a call. Reach out to my office and give us a call. Remember, it costs you absolutely nothing initially to talk with us about what is going on with your baby and your baby's story. When you contact my office, make sure that when you talk to my secretary, make sure that you pick a good date and a time to get on our calendar and talk with us about this, so we know, when we can return your call and talk with you about everything. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you have a good email address, an email address that you check frequently, because sometimes we have to reach out to you by email, and we want to make sure that we're sending it to an email address that you check. And finally, I practice law here in the state of Maryland, and I know sometimes we will have individuals who will contact us. They are in the United States, but they are not here in the state of Maryland. If that is you, just understand that we have to use what we call co-counsel or local counsel. In other words, an attorney in your state. And that's something that we can look to help you with. But I just want to make sure that you understand that co-counsel or local counsel aspect of things if you are not here in the state of Maryland. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group, LLC. Talk with you next time. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.